Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking to watch this video. This is going to be a tutorial on this makeup look right here featuring the new Anastasia Rivera eyeshadow palette. So if you guys are interested to see how I got this look, then stay tuned. Alright, so we're going to start off with the brows, and I'm going to take this eyebrow pencil by e.l.f. Cosmetics, and I'm going to go ahead and outline my brows. Just trying to give them some shape so that I can go ahead and fill them in later. I'm going to take the spoolie in, and I'm just spooling through the brows to distribute the product. Now I'm going to be taking this ABH Cosmetics brow pomade, and I'm using the shade Deep Brown, I think, and I'm just going to use that to further fill the brows in. Taking the NYX Full Coverage Concealer Nutmeg, I'm going to go ahead and clean up around my brows, and I'm using a flat brush to do this. And my brows normally take the longest to do. My eyeshadow takes a bit of time, but getting my brows perfect always is a challenge. So this is typically what I do. I don't normally like to show how I do my brows. Like I said, they do take a little bit of time, but I felt like, you know, doing it in this video. But this is pretty much how I do my brows. I'm just gonna continue to clean them up, and I'm trying to get them to be shaped up. And this is a nice little technique that helps me to just fix whatever mistakes I made while I was applying the pomade and the pencil to the brow hairs. And I'm going to go in now, and I'm going to use this brush to just blend out the concealer so it just blends in to my skin, and there's no halo look around the eyebrows. Alright, so now we're going to move into the eyeshadow, and I'm using the Laying Low Paint Pot by MAC, and I'm just going to take that on the same flat brush, and I'm going to base and prime my eyelids and prep them for the eyeshadow application. I'm not taking the paint pot all the way up to my eyebrows because I already put concealer under my eyebrows. So what I'm going to do is use the brush to just blend out the edges of the paint pot so that it blends in with the concealer that I already laid down. And now I'm going to take the Pretty Vulgar translucent powder, and I'm going to set down my base. Moving into the palette, this palette is beautiful. It has a lot of colors in it, and this is the brush that comes with the palette. Now we're going to take the first shade in this palette, which is called Monte Carlo. It's a nice like peachy toned pink, and I'm going to start off with that in my crease and transition area. And I'm not really being precise with this shade. I'm just going to be placing it messily all around my eye and just laying it down as my first transition shade. I'm also going to be building it up and getting it to the intensity that I wanted. My lights were too bright, so it wasn't showing how very pigmented this shade was, but it was quite pigmented, and it didn't take too long to build up either. Alright, so moving into the other shade is called Bahamas, and it's the deeper, more vibrant pink in the palette. And I'm just going to place that with a more precise blending brush, and I'm placing this directly into the crease, just to help to build it up there and create that nice depth in the crease. This shadow also wasn't very hard to blend. I will say though that right up to here I started to notice how much of how much the fallout was with this palette, which it doesn't really bother me. Most of my eyeshadow palettes do give me fallout, and most times it's with colorful eyeshadows like this, so I didn't mind that at all. And now I'm just going back in with that first brush I used with the transition shade, and I'm just blending out the edges of that pink shade. So now we're going to go into this purple shade, and I'm just going to take it on a more precise, even more precise blending brush, and I'm just going to be placing this first on the outer V of the eyes, and then I'm going to just slowly build it up till it gets to the intensity and pigmentation that I want. And I'm going to also slightly blend it into the crease just to help to build some more on that depth. I'm going for a nice colorful smoky eye. I noticed, however, though, that this purple eyeshadow was a little bit harder to blend than the first two shades that I laid down. It started to get a little bit patchy, so I was having to pack on the shadow and blend as I went, but eventually I got it to work. You just have to spend some time when you're using the shadow, if you want it to be pigmented, to just continuously pack on and blend. And now I'm going back into that brush that I used for the second pink shade, and I'm just going to blend out the edges. And I'm going back into the purple, and I'm blending and packing on some more. And I do this like a lot just to get this shade to build up to the intensity. I'm not going to show it on camera, but I had to go back and forth into those shades just to build up the intensity that I wanted. So I don't think this purple shade is terribly bad. I just think it takes a little bit of work to get the finish that you're hoping for. If you were going for something a little bit darker or wanted the color to show up true to how it looks in the palette, it just takes a lot of blending. And yeah, thanks to the ability to cut and trim and edit your videos, I was able to cut out that like half an hour of me sitting down just blending this purple shade. It took me some time to actually get it to the pigmentation I wanted it. Now I'm going to go back into that concealer from NYX, and I'm going to take it on a flat brush, and I'm going to carve out my crease with it. And I'm taking my crease a little bit higher than I normally do. I was trying this trick that I saw on Instagram by looking up to see if my concealer would transfer and give me like my perfect place to stop or take my concealer, so that I could get me a good cut crease. Like I said, if you guys have been watching my videos, I'm not very good with cut creases, but I do try. Alright, so I'm going to take this shade right here. It's the more purpley silver toned in the palette, and I'm going to go ahead and place that right in the center of the lid. And I'm not going to be taking it all the way into the inner part of the lid, because I'm going to use another shade there. Alright, so taking this more blue aquamarine shade, I'm going to also pick that up on the same brush and place it on the more inner part of the lid. And I was very surprised as to how much more pigmented this shade was. It was also very pretty as well. And I'm just going to use light tapping motions to seamlessly blend it in to the first shimmer shade that we placed down. I'm going to go back into the smaller detailing brush that we used for the darker purple, and I'm going to use that to just blend out the edges of the eyeshadow. And I'm also going to take a flat brush, and I'm just going to take the purple eyeshadow, the deeper purple eyeshadow that I used before, and I'm just going to use that to define around the cut crease. Alright, so I'm going to be taking these e.l.f. eye tapes to help me with my wing liner. And I'm going to be using this Mary Kay eyeliner. It's a gel eyeliner, and I'm going to use it to do my wing liner today. And I haven't done a wing liner with a gel in so long, so I was struggling. Alright, so I'm just going to be wiping away the fallout from the eyeshadows before I move into the skin. There was quite a bit of fallout from some of the eyeshadows, but it was nothing too crazy. So now I'm going to be taking the Touch and Soul No Pore Blend Primer that I got in a BoxyCharm, and I'm going to be using that as one of my primers today just to help to smooth out my skin. I really like the way this primer sits on my skin, and I love the way it feels. Now I'm going to go into a mattifying primer, and I'm using this one from Rimmel. It's the Stay Matte Primer. I just love the texture of this primer, and I love how it helps with the longevity of my makeup and helping to keep my skin looking matte. For foundation, I'm going to be using the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Foundation in the shade Cocoa. I'm going to be mixing two concealers today. I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild concealer, and I'm also going to be using the L'Oreal Infallible concealer. And to blend that out, I'm going to use my beauty blender. Alright, to cream contour, I'm going to be using the Black Opal foundation stick, and I'm just going to be using it or placing it in places that I want to add some shadows to. I'm going to be taking a brush and just blending my contour out, making sure that there's no harsh lines. Now I want to set my highlighted areas everywhere I put a concealer, and I'm going to be taking the I forgot the name of the powder. I'm taking the Pretty Vulgar translucent powder, and I'm just setting everywhere that I put my concealer to highlight. Now that I've set my face, I'm just adding some extra powder where my fallout would be, because we're going to move back to the eyes. And I'm going back into the first transition shade that we used on a angled brush, and I'm going to take that and run that along the lower lash line. Going back into that deeper pink shade, I'm going to take the same angled brush, and I'm going to run that on the lower lash line as well. Okay, dipping into that purple shade using the brush that came into the palette, I'm going to take the shading side and I'm going to run that right against the lower lash line. Taking this Vintage Cosmetics eyeliner, I'm going to go ahead and line my waterline. To dust away the powder from underneath my eyes, I'm going to go ahead and use this L'Oreal True Match powder in Soft Sable on a brush and just lightly brush away the powder from under my eyes. Moving into the It's My Ray Ray eyeshadow palette, I'm going to go ahead and use that contour shade to do my powder contour. Going into the Cover FX face palette, I'm going to take that contour shade, which works best for me as a bronzer, and I'm going to use it as my bronzer today. To prep my eyes for falsies, I'm going to go ahead and put on some mascara. Going back into the Cover FX face palette, I'm going to take the bronzy highlighting shade and I'm going to use it as my highlighter. Okay, going back into the eyeshadow palette, I'm going to take this white shade right here and I'm going to place that on the inner corners of the eye, just to add a little bit of brightness and just kind of help to open up the eyes some more. I'm going to take the Cover FX Shimmer Veil in Amethyst and I'm going to use that on top of the matte white eyeshadow that I just placed on the inner corner. I wanted it to have a little bit more of a brighter color and I just think the glitter on the inner corner looked really nice on top of that white shade, so that's what I went for. For my brow bone highlight, I'm going to be taking the same shimmer highlighting shade that I used from the Cover FX palette. Now for my eyelashes, I'm going to be using these from Walmart. They're the Salon Perfect 614s and I really like them. A favorite YouTuber that I watched, Juicy Jazz. If you guys have not watched any of her videos, I'm going to link her down below. She really liked these and I decided to give them a try based on her recommendation, and I have to say that I really like them as well. They're super lightweight and they're super dramatic but not in a crazy way, and they just look really nice and flattering on my eyes, so I enjoy wearing them. Okay, so it's time to let down the hair and just see how this look is coming together, and I think it's looking good. Yes. So it's time for blush, and I'm going to be using this one by The Balm. So I decided to try something new and went for a colorful bright lip as well. I'm using these two BH Cosmetics Luxe lip glosses. I think they're lip lacquers. I don't know if they still carry them, but yeah, they are really nice and creamy and very pigmented, as you can see. And I'm just mixing these shades together until I get my desired tone that I'm going for. Now to set the makeup in place, I'm going to be using the Mario Badescu Rose Water. And this is the final look with this lip. I'm going to give you guys a more neutral lip color because I know that this probably is not everybody's cup of tea, but I do like it. Not something I'd wear all the time, but I do like the eye look, and this lip is very fun. All right, so here is the second lip option. I'm using the Maybelline Vivid Lips, I don't remember what the name is, and I'm using this lip liner This lip liner is very creamy, and it was $1 from the beauty supply store. It's from the brand NK, and I really like it. This lip gloss or lipstick from Maybelline is really nice as well. And this is the final look with the second lip option. I hope you guys did enjoy this tutorial. I had so much fun making it, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.